our fellow veterans and family members and our brave patriots, thank you so much for tuning in to NRN Plus and Veteran Nation with the Sergeant. That's me, Sergeant Bloomling, and the Skipper, MT Arthur. What's up, Skipper? How you doing tonight, brother?
Hey, it's a great day out here in the desert today. So I'm loving life.
I was looking at your shirt, man. What is that, a flamingo? What do you got going on over there? Let the vets know what's happening over there.
Yeah, this shirt, my mom really likes flamingos, and I saw this one. It says single and ready to flamingo. So
It
nice,
looks
funny
like a
little
shirt you wear on a cruise and you know what I mean? Like a 3-hour tour, you never come back or something.
Oh, this is one of my Vegas shirts. I'll wear this when I drive up to Vegas. So, just me chillaxing.
Well, hey, we got some love on the show for you today, Skipper. We got Michael J. Penney that's going to be coming on in a few minutes. He's a
Marine crayon eater.
Marine recon guy. So great friend of mine. We go back a long ways. So we shoot, move, and communicate on this show. And we got to, take a minute to appreciate our military members who are serving right now, especially downrange. God bless them and their families. They're always in our thoughts and prayers. And we got your six when you come back home. But we got some new exciting things happening on Veteran Nation starting next week on Thursday. This show's every Thursday from 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to actually be expanding it to an hour and a half. This is the start of the expansion of the show. So even though this is just the third episode, we're already going future with how we're going to be expanding this show to meet more veterans, to reach more veterans, and to be able to have higher output. So it's really important. We'd love to hear your feedback. We got a live call in now. So all of our veterans, our family members, give us a call. If you like what we're saying, you hate what we're saying, you want to throw mud at us, whatever it is, just let us know. And we'll try to accommodate you, because that's what iron sharpens iron. And I believe that really strongly. So we're also going to have a veteran news feature. So we're going to have also two guests. So we're going to have two guests on, and we're going to have a news feature. And Skipper is going to be taking care of that. And why don't you talk about that a little bit, Skipper, what you're going to be doing with the news?
Yeah, we're going to be talking about a lot of different news that affects military and veterans, things that are close to our heart, just as we bring on these guests that are close to our heart. So we're going to be doing a lot of really cool things, getting a lot of good information to you. As always, though, we'll still be on the Ops Lens Network and still on NRN Plus on Facebook and YouTube and Periscope, all that. So nothing's going to change for how you be able to see us. It's just we're going to be longer. We're going to give you more content, more guests. It's going to be awesome.
Absolutely. And we're going to be expanding the show eventually to 2-3 days a week. Our goal is to be 5 days a week, 12 to 1 time slot or 12 to 2 time slot, and really try to get a major impact for our veterans. But also plug Veterans for Trump right now. They're a huge supporter of NRN Plus and our show, Veteran Nation. Big shout out to Joshua and Vlad, the founders of Veterans for Trump. So big shout out to them. We got big things coming. Make sure you follow us on Facebook. Plug in there. We're always looking for advertising and sponsors. But, anything that you want to plug specifically for anybody, go ahead and do that, Skipper. We'll bring on the guest.
Okay. I don't have anything specifically to plug today, but we are going to be plugging a lot of people as they come in. I'm just waiting for clearances on different people, because while you're out there and you're the veterans that we want to show your stuff, I got to get your thumbs up. So if you've been in contact with me, just give me the thumbs up of here's what I want you to say about my business.
Yeah, we definitely are trying to promote our veteranpreneurs and our veteran business owners out here. So make sure you shoot us a line, get in contact with NRN Plus. Also, make sure you subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. We're going to have a lot of cool extra features that we're going to start doing. We need really we are the veteran community, so we got to stick together. We are the 1% in America, and we're the ones, we raised our right hand, and some did it involuntary and some did it voluntarily. So let's stick together. And all of our brave men and women, we salute you. We thank you very much. And we got a big show in front of us, and I'm so excited to get this Marine on here. Even though I'm an Army NCO, I love this guy, man. He's a great guy, Michael J. Penney. He's the owner of 5 Paragraph. He's been doing a great things. We both graduated through EBB in different classes, Entrepreneur Boot Camp for Veteran Program. And just excited to have you on, Michael. Thank you so much.
Hey, thanks for having me.
So what's going on in your world, man? Talk to us, man. Let us know. How's life for a former Marine nowadays? You doing pretty well in North Carolina or what?
Hey, man, I'm doing all right. Yeah, the homestead is in North Carolina right now. I'm actually at our family lake house, which is pretty freaking cool. It's my parents' home that they redid a number of years ago, and they're since retired. So if I kind of look like Joe in the basement right now, it's because I'm out of my primary dwelling. All right. So, but I'm enjoying that family time getting together, with the kids and all of the other stuff and playing outside and hanging out on the lake. It's, northern Michigan summertime. So it's pretty freaking amazing that we have this glorious opportunity to be up here. So, yeah, that's what's going on in my neck.
That's awesome, man. I spent some time up in Lansing, Michigan, and I was up at the UP. It's great time. Now they let you Marines, they give you guys time off. That's how that works. Is that what it is?
Well, they did when I was in the Corps. Yeah. Yeah. For sure. For sure. Well, it was one of those things also. It was like I told my boss that I needed the time off anyway. And then I realized that I was self employed. So it's one of those things, man. It's like you get to do what you want to do, and it's how you get to manufacture your life based on whatever script you decide to write for yourself. It's that manifest destiny side of things. So I always wanted to be able to come back up here during the summers and evacuate this place when it turns into a blizzard. So by the grace of God, I actually had the opportunity to be up here for a couple of months back to back. Yeah.
Good for you, man. Good for you. So let's talk about some of the stuff that's going on. We got these hate groups out here, Antifa, Black Lives Matter. We got police being totally disrespected. I know you're a patriot. You and I go way back, and we're trying to make a difference here in the community. What's your thoughts on that? What's going on, Michael?
Yeah, we're really focused on solutions. I can tell you that much right now. I mean, it really boils down to a whole lot of people are out of work. It's up to them to be responsible for their own income. That's the reason why we've got what we've got at 5paragraph.com. You're the visionary, pull it out of your head, put it down on paper. What you can dream, what you desire is what you can achieve. So I can tell you that we work with a whole lot of different folks that are out there, and they're all saying the same thing. It kind of feels like in the moment of this strife, we're seeing a whole lot of people that are very kinetic and argumentative. It's actually kind of a glorious opportunity for you to be able to turn, pivot, and take advantage of some of these different things economically that are happening. I mean, I call me an optimist, right? But and just staying positive overall. But I see a great deal of opportunity that's occurring out there in the space, especially when you're talking to people who have something like what we've got here. We can work with people who are remote. We can work with people and do workshops with them. We can do screen shares and other things like that when we're doing our one-on-one advisor stuff. We can do everything virtual. So it's kind of, in these moments of, oh, okay, we're dealing with lockdowns and we're dealing with, BLM and other stuff like that. When people started talking about BLM, I thought they were talking about Bureau of Land Management. Honestly, I didn't know what the heck they were talking about. But, I'm a disciple on, I read Thomas Sowell and Heather McDonald. And, I pay attention to the Hoover Institute Fellowship, the full party that's over there, so to speak, and really try to get into their mindset because they're the ones that are paying attention to the actual evidence, that's out there. Heather McDonald, the author of The Diversity Delusion, she's looking at what's going on. She's going, her argument doesn't make any sense. Thomas Sowell, who wrote The Vision of the Anointed, which is the most recent book I studied, absorbed, whatever you want to call it. I love Thomas Sowell. He's a fellow Marine. You should totally get him on the show. But he just recently turned 90 and put out another book, by the way.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. So he wrote Vision of the Anointed in 1995. And the guy, here's what I love about it, right? In the notes, in what, the bibliography, right? And in my opinion, if you don't cite, you can't write, like you've got to be able to back up what you're saying argumentative wise with the actual evidence, the proof, the notes, whatever. 711 notations throughout Vision of the Anointed. So you want to talk about backing it up with actual factual evidence as far as tailoring this argument against the anointed, which sorry folks, we aren't in that club. So Vision of the Anointed is a great book. Thomas Sowell, another veteran, another Marine who's out there. He worked hand in hand with Milton Friedman. So if you guys aren't already familiar with Milton Friedman, the great economist that's out there, these are my influencers, brother. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Book nerd. What do you want me to say, dude? I put down the video games and the movies and stuff a long time ago. I just started absorbing books like it was going out of style. So I think it happened when I was on deployment.
Now, so the audience, they don't know a lot about 5-paragraph. We got a lot of business owners who can benefit. Why don't you give some of the story, about your transition, what you went through, and what led you to do that? Because you're a TEDx speaker, which is fantastic. You have a lot of things that you've done that's a very high level. You're really a modest person, and I really respect that about you. But at the end of the day, our veterans, they want to know, what's the blueprint? How can you help them? What do you got at 5-paragraph going on that can make a difference in a potential business owner that's a veteran, or somebody who already owns a business and they might be having a hard time right now?
Sure, absolutely. Well, I can tell you, okay, if you go to 5paragraph.com, that's 5 like the digit, paragraph.com, starts with getting this book. It's 75 pages thick. It's 8.5 by 11. It's a workbook. You fill it out as you go. It's free plus shipping and handling. You'll get 30 days free access to the inner circle. Go to 5paragraph.com. That's 5 like the number, like the digit, paragraph.com. My backstory with all of this, I spent 8 years in the Marine Corps. I was an infantryman. I went to 3rd Battalion, 7th Marines Weapons Company out in 29 Palms, MT. We're chatting a little bit. He and I are chewing some of the same dirt. So I did 2 tours to Ramadi, Iraq, and then wound up going to Quantico, training officers how to shoot, picked up a number of different certifications while I was there, to include formal school instructor. So I learned audio, visual, kinesthetic learning. And then when I went back to the Fleet Marine Force with 1st Battalion, 5th Marines out of Camp Pendleton, I had the opportunity to go and get trained at Special Operations Training Group as an embedded advisor. So we learned how to assess, train, advise, and assist local forces on the ground in order to get them to their standard, right? So how can we work with a group of people in order to then implement a training cycle, a template, put that into place? So that's a little foreshadowing of what's to come. While I was downrange, overseas, I had the idea for a product, and it's a magazine insert for cleanliness and storage. It's a device that goes inside your weapon. It keeps it clean. I thought about it. I put it down on paper. When I came home, I had a provisional patent waiting for me. So I actually put forward the patent, the invention, everything, purposely did everything that I could to never do anything while on military time, kind of a deal. So that way you could prove later on down the line that the IP was actually mine. So I brought it all the way to market, put the team around us, and it failed. Because in entrepreneurship, you have to fail, right? So I was talking with this Norwich grad, Marine, big venture capitalist. He was actually Joe Dunford's roommate at Norwich. So thank you, Jim. You're awesome. So he and I were walking out of a meeting one time, and he's going, "Hey, you're a sergeant in the Marine Corps, right? Yeah. You're a patrol leader. Yeah. You wrote an op order, didn't you? Yeah, thousands of them. Well, the next time you brief this, why don't you do it in a 5-paragraph operations order format?" Bing, light bulb moment, right? So I'm like, okay, that's one half. That's like one side of the working wheel. Don't reinvent the wheel. Bring 2 working wheels together and then make a 0 to 1 product. That's stealing a line from Peter Thiel, 0 to 1. So the working wheel concept, the super wheel, if you'll have it, that's 5-paragraph operations order, nuts and bolts, great business plans. Boom, put it together. What have you got? 5-paragraph business plan, the action-oriented business management tool for leaders. So this gets your vision out of your head, down on paper. That's manifest destiny. And when you go to 5paragraph.com, you'll see how it's the full military management cycle. We brought everything that we had in the military straight out, and you don't need to have any military experience whatsoever in order to use it. I would say that you have to be a patriot. You have to actually care about the military and how we actually do business, how we maintain global accountability, how you get 18 to 25-year-olds to work cohesively with rocket launchers and stuff. Go ahead. Grab a gaggle of 18 to 25-year-olds. Figure that out. We got that on lockdown. Military, figure that out. This is over 240 years old. It's small unit leadership. So
you are talking so many things that I know Marines out there, you talk about finding order from chaos. You're talking about, hey, using the tools that someone smarter than us already created. So it's really interesting to sit and listen to you, how you've applied this to your business. The question I would have for someone who has their own business and they're struggling, and they're going to come to you, what type of things do you see? Is it more like pride that they just have to get past, or is it there's actual knowledgeable things that they just are glossing over, that they have those tools but they're just not using them?
Yeah, it's just doing the work. It's the hard work up front. It's like anything else. It's doing the assignment. Because really pulling it out of your head. And I mean, frankly, shamelessly, I'll tell you, you can pay me to do it. I'm still going to ask you the key questions that are necessary. So it's kind of the age old, you can lead a horse to water, you can't make him drink. For some of these folks who are just kind of in the weeds of it and they don't really know whether or not, they really want to start that business. What we really enjoy working with as far as small business to medium-sized business are those that have the vision, they've been working, they've been making money, they're in between maybe that 100,000 to 2 million mark, and they're going, how do I put a process into place to where I can actually delegate this stuff like a general? And they see the immediate need of 5P.
Excellent.
More than somebody who's in brand new startup phase. I can give you a case in point. So Medical Mutual Insurance of North Raleigh, they had a rebrand to Curie, CURI. So check them out. They do medical malpractice insurance. I happened to get in touch. I was sitting on a flight, right? Single serving friend. And there was a gentleman next to me who was reading Simon Sinek's Leaders Eat Last. So I nudged him and was like, he stole all that stuff from the Marines, right? And so, we laughed and we chatted down to baggage, and I gave him a card. And it just said 5paragraph.com on it. Our cards are real simple. And it's like, don't even say what you do. Just go to 5paragraph.com. You'll see what we do. It's not even a traditional website. You just scroll through it and you'll see what I'm talking about. Go to 5paragraph.com. This was before the book actually came out. He pre-ordered the book. He downloaded the template. He listened through all of the tutorial episodes. And that's when all of that stuff was up front right now, right? Right now, I can tell you, when you get the book and then you go into the inner circle, all of the tutorials, the full learning experience, it's all inside of the 5P inner circle. And it's way bigger than what Nate originally saw when he went there. But he was like, dude, we had 22 million in the pipeline. Boom. Now I can tell you, they're above the 500 million annually mark over there, and they have spread like wildfire. They're in 42 different states right now. So, and he has no military experience. And what's so cool about this is that they're selling insurance, and it's like, dude, you made selling insurance cool. Like, we got to exploit the critical vulnerability inside of this market, and they get that, they enjoy the fact that they have commander's intent and desired end state. And okay, leave me alone. I'm going to go do my job. That's a relatively new concept out here. And dare I call it the civilian world. And the other thing too, and I love this, when executives would be like, wait a minute, okay, hold on, time out. You want me to take the same plan and I'm going to brief higher, let's say the board of directors or something like that, and then you want me to turn around and brief my team that plan? And I'm like, yeah, that's how it works. That's how it works in the military.
Exactly. Top up and bottom down. Now, check this out. I have a question for you, though. You talked about something. I think this is really important because we have a lot of vets out there and they're struggling with whether it's PTSD, TBI. We have a high suicide rate out there. and you talked about something, and I'm a deep diver into things. You know this about me, but you were talking about how you had this big sophisticated plan, and when you got out, you got this patent, and you put a lot into that, and that could have been a point for you when you had that failure that really held you back. What was something that you can give back right now to somebody that's listening to your story when they get to that breaking point? Because that's what I try to do. I try to give somebody that substance when they get to
Yeah.
that breaking point, that they're like, hey, hold on, put the brakes on. It's not the end of the world. It seems like it. Let's just go left, right, left every day. Boom, boom, boom. Let's get in line and let's do it. But it's easier said than done for a lot of our veterans and their family members.
Yeah. Oh, no. I totally understand on all fronts. That's literally why we created 5paragraph.com, or at least I did in the beginning. I also saw this as something to where, okay, because look, a little bit about me. I used to work for a nationwide nonprofit, veteran focused business accelerator. Hey, how can I help my fellow veterans in entrepreneurship? And it's a very saturated market, for lack of a better way to put it. You and I both graduated from the Entrepreneurship Bootcamp for Veterans. Fantastic program, right? The thing is, though, is that I would call that a not a stepping stone, but like a lily pad, because you only get it for a second and then you're out of there, right? And so you need some sort of landing spot in your general community, or you need some sort of virtual mastermind group. And that's what 5paragraph.com really does offer. Looking back at past Mike Penney, who first company fails, bear in mind also, okay, first company fails, and I'm interviewing, like I go to EBV, company is dead, it failed. I go to EBV, and I taught to Dr. Haney, right, as the founder, and I'm like, my company's already dead. He's like, just act like nothing ever happened. It's your company, pitch it, do all of this other stuff. I took most outstanding venture with a failed company. And I'm like, what does this mean? What does this mean? And they're like, we will invest in you. We won't invest in your product because we can't. And so it's like, okay, wait a minute. Hold on. We'll invest in the value of you, the individual. What does that mean? And yes, I had leadership roles throughout the military. A lot of people think that that's a super glamorous job. It's just another member of the team. And when you're a leader, you're usually getting it from both sides, because you can lead for the people above you and for the people below you, but you can't do both at the same time. However, both are going to hold you accountable at the same time. So it was this, I learned that in the military and knew that I needed to persevere beyond that. And so it's like, okay, how can I actually put something out there? Again, it circles back to manifest destiny. How can I write down? It's not just goals. It's saying I see this big fat whopping problem that exists out there. That's purpose. That's living with purpose. There's this big problem that's out there, and by God, I'm going to go do something about it. That's living with purpose. And so you write down, situation, enemy, here's the problem opportunity that I've got. And then it goes through mission. I will do this in order to accomplish that. Right. So I built this thinking about past MJP, going, don't want to be there again. Don't want to deal with that. Also, how can you do this for somebody who has like no money? I can tell you right now, shipping and handling on there, and you're going to get additional free goodies. Plus, you're going to get free 30-day free access to the inner circle. Okay, it's going to cost you $9.97, right? At least at the time of the recording of this. Go to 5paragraph.com. You're going to get this book and then entrance into the inner circle. So really, what are you getting? Well, it's $50 a month for the inner circle, and it's $20 a month for the book. So it's a $70 value for under $10. So what do you want? You want a cheeseburger and fries, or do you want in your future?
We should, hey, right off of this show, we should have people signing up right now. We're live now on NRN Plus. We're on the Veteran Nation with the sergeant and the skipper, and we need people to subscribe. We need people to link into 5paragraph. I mean, this is why we have this show. That's what it's about. It's about connecting veteran resources in the community. This is the biggest problem that we have. We have a lack of the resources. They're spread out like a landmine. You never know where you're going to walk, and you're going to step and blow off your leg. We're trying to help put the resources right in front of you. So all you have to do is walk straight forward, and then you're going to be able to find your success, your pathway, where you're supposed to be, your vision. The thing about being veterans, and all of us are veterans on the show, and that's what's so great. But we have civilians out there, and they want to know about veterans. They want to understand. This is a great place for them to come to learn about us, to learn about how we communicate, how we work together. And this vision that NRN has with the people that are involved with it, and the future outcomes are what's going to define the future, because people came before us in the military, and there's going to be people that come after us. We did our thing, time on target. We did what we had to do, but now we got to prepare the next generation, but we got to take care of our own back at home. We can't just keep pushing the buck or blaming the government or blaming the senator in your district or who isn't doing anything. We got to be accountable to each other. And I think that through this show that we're going to reach these people. That's why we need people calling into the show. We need that level of engagement. And with that, I think we got a caller on the line now. Caller, thank you so much. Who do we got on the line? We're trying out the new technology here.
Go ahead, caller.
So this is the thing about live TV. Anything's possible, but we adapt and overcome. So we'll make that happen. We need people to call in, though. That's the thing. That's the beauty of the show. Veterans, tell your family members, tell people in the military. Right now, military bases are on lockdown. What's that look like for you, Skipper?
Out here, we're alone and unafraid in California. We're way away from a lot of the stuff where it's all happening, but it's still scary. The base out here, they have put out guidance. I do know that they've quarantined individuals. They've done some interesting things just to try to stop the spread, even though it hasn't affected us too much out here. I do know. Michael Penney, you were with 3-7. I do know they're right now deployed. I do know they're quarantined out in the field. So that's pretty interesting segue into what we're doing here. The one thing I do want to say, though, about 5 paragraph, I've never owned a business, primarily because I don't want to jerk for a boss. But
that's a good one. That is good. Yeah.
I have worked in the corporate field, and I could see where this could help someone who, if they're not an entrepreneur, but they just want to be successful in the corporate world, by going through this, I could see where this would help even them day to day. Have you had any experience with something like that?
Oh, I have. I really have. Yeah, we offer workshops. So for those of you in the executive level, or if you're with HR, and we work with a lot of different HR folks, fractional or otherwise, who are looking for different types of educational opportunities for people, especially their leadership. So in those workshops, what we'll do is the face-to-face all the way through, from the planning to practical application. And the majority of those audiences are non-veterans. They're business leaders. A lot of them are going to school, whether that's night school or auxiliary, whatever. And they'll actually use the certifications from our workshops to gain additional credit. Now, I can't say that we are accredited with any organization or university. I can say that taking the certification as a sign-off through your human resources as additional professional education has resulted in people gaining credit hour for it, which I think is really cool. So, but you're exactly right. From a business leader perspective, we kind of, shout out to one of my influencers, Gifford Pinchot III, coined the phrase intrapreneur. So for those of us who are non-commissioned officers inside the U.S. military, we were acting intrapreneurially. And that is operating with an entrepreneurial mindset with the backing and the guidance and the resources of the greater overall organization. Because think about it in range of scope, right? You don't want an organization that is just totalitarian. And then you have almighty leader, big brother from on high, who has this magnificent scope, but then you can only see explosions from 30,000 feet, and you can only see them when they're big enough to see from 30,000 feet. Whereas when you delegate authority down to the people that are on the deck, that are boots on the ground, they have the ability to mitigate a lot of that, what could turn into a big fire and explosion or something of huge magnitude. They have been delegated the authority, the unilateral authority, to be able to go and do that. So think about this from business leader perspective. I really want this, this manager off my back. I know what I'm doing. I can take division out of my head, put it down on paper, get the green light and go, good, you've given me the green light, and leave me alone so that I can go execute on this stuff, right? So how do I get micromanagers off my back? Here you go, business leaders. And by that same token, if you're looking to take initiative, allow me to throw another shout out to another one of my influencers, Peter Drucker, who's the godfather of the modern MBA out of Claremont College. But if you're a business major, if you're an entrepreneurship major anywhere, you were probably prescribed reading, the Essentials Drucker. And Drucker talks about a veteran, a military service member who is a captain in Vietnam, and said, hey, how do you delegate your authority? How do you actually get stuff done? You can't be everywhere at once. And he's like, that's exactly right. I can't be out in the bush everywhere at once. So we delegate to our non-commissioned officers who go and carry out the patrols, and they have to know what to do while they're in the field. So when your back is turned, business leader, how do you make sure that your team members know what's going on? And I can tell you, it's one page. That's it. It's an immediate action plan. It's a template inside of the inner circle. And that's all that it is. It's an immediate action plan. Our folks, I'm telling you, one of the greatest ladies ever in our team, Lisa, God bless her. She is such a sweetheart. I can give her an immediate action plan, and she will work off of that quarterly. And then she produces one page, again, debriefs. And these debriefs are outside of results, bear in mind. Results are just like, yeah, we got so many likes on the Facebook page. And yes, of course, dollars and cents and other things like that. But look, in the debriefs, you're gathering your people's observations. This was hugely critical when we were working with Mid-Michigan Health. They're working to achieve magnet status as a hospital. In order to do that, they have to eliminate slips, trips, and falls, being one of the things that a hospital would focus on, right? And this is one of the key qualifiers in eliminating slips, trips, and falls by degrading that specific statistic through the mentality of trade-offs. You're going to have another tent pole pull out. How will you know when that tent pole pulls out unless it's downstream results? It has to be through observations. If you delegate somebody your authority, then you have to delegate them the ability to give you observations. It's just that simple. And to people, it's like that's a novel concept to people. And I'm like, that's how the military has been run for over 240 years. Again, when I came out of the military, and this is a little chip on my shoulder that I'm sure a lot of fellow veterans had, we were looking around going, this is messed up. Like, this is messed up. I'm like, I don't like this. I was seeing insurgency stuff and different. I'm like, no, I don't want to do this. Like, hold on. I got mislabeled as sheep. You guys put me in the wrong column. I'm over here with the lions. So it's like, it was really difficult. And then talking with a number of different people, it was like, it's not something to where we have to come back and assimilate into what they're trying to do socialism wise. I don't understand that. Like, we came back and we were like, hey, wait a minute. Well, no, wait, hold on. No, you guys got rid of that freedom while we were overseas. That's some BS right there. Like, negative, Ghost Rider. And so now we're supposed to come back into that. That doesn't make any sense. Declare your independence from the status quo. You're free, damn it. Here, I mean, that's the thing, is that the value of this, I can honestly tell you, is once you get into it, and this is what all of our lifetime members have to say about it. Once you get into it, once you get into the inner circle, once you go through and you're completing stuff and you have the templates and you look at it, you go, gotcha. Okay, this is something that I can just use for years and years and years. It's something that I can rely on. A lot of people, myself included, were not given a square one to really start with. It's like, here's your GI Bill, and then you're back into it. And it's like, yes, but there has to be something more. There has to be a structure, a basis for how I can pull my vision out of my head down on paper, get my goals, short, intermediate, long-term goals. Boom. I'm steering the ship in that direction. So it's like, this craziness that's going on. Shut off the TV, crack the spine on your books, study, 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 absorb it. And then what do? Put it down into this structure, right? Because what you're doing is you're taking, well, think about it like this. Guy who flies helicopter, guy who pulls string on artillery, lady who drives tank, lady who does admin, all of them operate 5-paragraph. That's just how it works. And it's like, well, how can that possibly be true? Each one of them is performing their job, their MOS, their military occupational specialty, just within that laser focus, and there's a process to do their job. They're a part of that greater overall plan. See, so it's hugely critical for folks to understand the umbrella effect of that, business leaders especially, when they're looking at this going, yeah, but I've got Agile Scrum. Well, you do for developing software. Yeah, but I've got Plan, Do, Check, Act. Well, you do for manufacturing things. Yeah, but I've got relationship-based care. Well, you do for taking care of patients. What's the umbrella? What does it all fit under? The execution paragraph in 5P. Go to 5paragraph.com right now. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about.
Well, here we go. Here goes a great thing, Michael Penney, that I want to talk about. Two different things. First of all, you talked about the GI Bill. I'm going to get to that in a minute. But the first thing is, when people get out of the military, they should get 5-paragraph, and they should get a copy of my book, Bridging the Gap from Soldier to Civilian, a roadmap to success for veterans. These are tools that aren't available when you and I
Absolutely.
and MT and when we got out of the military. We didn't have that shit. That shit. I had a floppy disk. I got out in December 3101. I was pre and post 9/11, did my 4 years, NCO, got out. I had a floppy disk. I was overseas for 3.5 years. I come back here. I'm like, what the hell is going on? What am I going to do? So I went straight to the government, end up being a GS-12. And then I was like, well, wait a second. There's something bigger out here. Like, there has to be a better way. And that's when I met a mentor. And so a big thing about veterans is mentorship. And we want to do that here at NRN Plus and with Veteran Nation, with the Sergeant, the Skipper. We want to get you into mentorship. Next week, we're going to have Chad Robichaux on with Mighty Oaks Foundation, who's doing great things. There's all these great organizations, and we want to pull them together through Veteran Nation so that veterans don't have to go to 100 different places. It's so frustrating for our vets. But you know what? When I went back to college, I had a mentor, another veteran. We were investigators with the Department of Labor together. He said, hey, you need to go back to school. So here goes Michael Penney saying, hey, go get 5-paragraph. You got Sergeant Bloomling saying, go get Bridging the Gap from Soldier to Civilian. There's resources that are out here. Vets just have to reach out and get it. And now we're creating a platform. We have a platform now to reach the veterans through NRN Plus and through other various outlets. And we've been putting countless hours into this. 5-paragraph just doesn't show up in your mailbox. Michael Penney worked really hard on this, and he did that because he cares about the community. What are some of the things that you see as we try to help these veterans with these tools in their toolbox to help amplify what they believe in, their core value system? And like you said, Penny, when they come back here, that the civilian world is totally different. 80% of people right now that served in the military do not trust civilians.
Well, that's interesting. Excuse me.
Post 9/11, it's out there, and it's a fact that through polling, 80% of veterans don't trust the civilian world. They just don't. They come back here, and like you said, why would you trust something that you're defending, and then you come back here and these motherfuckers want to take it all away?
Well, it was interesting in the sense because I was told numerous times over, you don't need to call me sir. You don't need to call me ma'am. And okay, cool. I didn't walk around calling people sir or ma'am before I went into the military, but I certainly have since I left the military. Why is that? Call it good old fashioned American apple pie, that type of stuff. It is basic decorum of how you address people. I think it's funny because we even write on the subject of politeness and its effectiveness of getting you what you want. right? So if you haven't already read The Art of Persuasion and listened to Zig Ziglar, I mean, Lord Almighty, talk about an influencer. Zig Ziglar tells you that politeness is persuasion. It is how you respond rather than react to a situation. It's like when you go to a physician's office, you've been taking a medication such and such time, and they say, "Oh, you're responding to this very positively." Right? Or they're looking at the hives that are bubbling up on your face going, "Oh, yeah, there's some sort of reaction going on with this." Right? So it's kind of that concept of, you're seeing this. Yes, it's happening. No, you're not crazy. You either get to react to it or you can respond to it in kind. It's time for you to be the adult in the room. Because I definitely know what it's like, especially I was the guy in a college classroom who stood up and outright was like, hold on, time out, wait a minute. Are you saying that collectivism, meaning that personal property, should not be a thing? I mean, this was actually being discussed, right? Now, bear in mind, it was in the context of Plato. Plato didn't believe in personal property. If you read his version of the Republic, so he thought that even the state should be in charge of whether or not we have reproductive rights. Woohoo! That's crazy. In comparison to what Aristotle and Socrates said, and anyway. You got to look at the hierarchy of it. I'm not trying to be a nerd. The idea here is that you have arguments that are coming forward from thousands of years ago from people who aren't very different in nature physically, you and I, but their wisdom can be imbued thousands of years later while we're standing here trying to figure out what to do with this imperfect, on purpose, imperfect experiment that we have for this republic, which is a manifestation of their vision of yesteryear. Boom, here. A guy younger than me, Thomas Jefferson, was 33 years old when he penned the Declaration of Independence. When you read the Declaration of the Rights of Man, you understand where he was pulling references from in order to construct that document, right? So it's us looking at something going, hey, we can make this better. Wait a minute, there are other examples of yesteryear. Hold on, wait a minute, they're doing something through pattern analysis, through study. I mean, if you go and read The Diversity Delusion, you'll probably look at college and go, well, what the heck am I supposed to do? And then you're going to go and read The Vision of the Anointed, and then you're going to be like, well, okay, this is a tale as old as time. So what, again, throw my hands up. Am I supposed to homestead out in the wilderness or something like that? I don't know. It's this huge frustrating thing. That's why we wrote 5 paragraphs so that it's super simple and you can go and take action, because it is a super frustrating thing, right? It's one of those where you get back, you see what's going on, you see how people are interacting, and you either can react to that type of stuff or you can respond to it. And you can be the adult in the room, and you can interact with people in a polite manner, and you can have decorum. This isn't Nam, damn it. There are rules, right?
Exactly.
To quote, we don't need people entering a world of pain. Do not pull a Walter in your college classroom, no matter how badly you want to. Right? Eight
well, here goes the thing. A lot of vets start things, but they don't end up finishing them. One of those things is college, for example. But, there's a lot of distractors out there. A lot of people are spending time on social media. COVID's out there. How do you get somebody to pick up 5 paragraphs? That's the thing. The resources and the tools, now we can make them available with technology. When I was in the Army, I didn't have Facebook or fucking none of this other shit. I just had a pen and paper. I had email. You know what I'm saying? It was like old school, man. There was no, like now these guys are deployed. They got all these pictures. I'm looking at people that were in Afghanistan. They got all these pictures and shit. When I served, we had like a Polaroid or like a Kodak, you had to go take it in and get the pictures developed, man. I'm like, I missed out on all these cool pictures. I did all this awesome shit, firing Stinger missiles, tow missiles, blowing shit up. No pictures. I got like a couple when I was on deployments and shit. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah. The disposable clamors. Click.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was like the first deployment, and then we were also bringing DVDs over, and then by the third deployment, had a terabyte hard drive, and then like cell phone. you know, and it's just wow, totally.
You just
different.
gave me a flashback to when I was in Kuwait, waiting to come back here for my R&R, and I just watched a dude. He's carrying a brand new box of a flat screen TV and a brand new Xbox.
Which is even funnier when you picture just desolate, right? The barren wasteland, and then he's just humping that all the way back from the PX. Oh yeah, no, I feel you. Oh my goodness. I saw a guy one time who was walking back with 2 TVs underneath of either arm, and his weapon was slung across his back, right? And wouldn't you know it, the wind kicked up and his cover blew off. So he's like, no, running back, trying to chase down his cover. Hey, put a cover on, devil dog. People are screaming at him, lifing him from across the base. He's got these 2 TVs. The guy was just a target indicator and a cluster all at once. It was fantastic. Oh,
This is awesome.
Back
Oh
in
my
the old
gosh.
Corps. Back in the old Corps.
Well, you know what? They're oh, you know, here goes the great. This is interesting. And we're talking about the Marines. They want to pull their tanks from their arsenal. They're doing it, and now the Army's going to pick up the slack. So there you go. The Army got to come through and save the Marines again. What's up with that, brother?
That's okay. You guys can have those tanks. You guys can have them. We're probably going to get hover jets or some craziness. I don't freaking know. I mean,
you guys are going to have UFOs next. See, what are they going to do? Drop you on site? You know what I mean? You have.
Dude, you're talking to a guy who is super stoked when I got a prick 148. Have you ever seen a 148 or like a Verk 148? Do you know what I'm talking about? We went from having a 117 man pack, man portable, right, with the batteries to the size of bricks, to having a 148 that fit in a magazine pouch. And I'm like, yes, this is awesome. If you go to michaeljpetty.com and you see my I love me pictures that are on there, I'm in Kajaki and I'm sitting there and I've got this 3-foot tape that's going up over top, right into my shoulder with the basic hook that's on there. Every once in a while I had on my Peltor stuff if we were doing anything mechanized and I wanted to block all of that crap out. But man, oh dude, just being able to coordinate, in between Ramadi in 2005 when we were dealing, and I was in a gun truck, I was lead truck driver, dealing with where to go. If we were on quick reaction force, I was actually the high back driver. You were talking about post-traumatic stress before. I don't know if you know what it's like being the ambulance driver, but you have to clean that out when you're done. So that's probably the number one thing where it's like I've left a whole lot of stuff before in the past, but like there's just some things where it's like, oh man, dude, I just don't want to be an ambulance driver. I'll tell you that much right now, and I mean, Grizzly affectionately call it the meat wagon, is one of those things. It was like, we do whatever we can in order to clean this thing out, but it's definitely not sterile during the 100 days of wind that we get around here, sandstorms and all sorts of craziness that's happening. So it's like, that's the other thing too. I mean, this is just me personally, and maybe this resonates with a whole bunch of the audience members, but I love what you guys are doing as far as here on NRN Plus. I love what you're doing as far as NRN. I think honestly, this is needed because it's giving unfiltered voice to a lot of different folks like us, where we're a little bit more high energy, high output, high up tempo. I get out, I talk with a lot of people, on a daily basis. I want to be out there. I want to communicate. I want to coordinate more often than not. I get categorized and thrown into a box kind of a deal, and that's what you're supposed to do. You can still specialize as being the leader using this, because what you're doing is putting down a special and unique plan. And this is, ironically enough, probably the most customizable business planning tool, management tool that you've got. Because so many different types of businesses, from healthcare, from manufacturing to consultants, to people who are doing business development in general, human resources, management firms, the list goes on and on and on. The management method works with them because it works across all of our MOSs in the military. Okay, so if you're like me, where it's like you get out, you didn't want to deal with being categorized and kind of thrown into a box, I guess you could say. You know, this is how you declare your independence from the status quo. This is how you get other people to understand what it is you're talking about. It's in here. They're looking at you like you're Russell Crowe in It's a Beautiful Mind. You got stuff scrawled on the wall. That's my house. My back door has got dry erase marker all over it. My old lady's looking at me like, this is like a beautiful mind in here. Your colleagues are real, right? Your colleague, I don't know. You talk to them. They're all here, right? Just that.
Hey,
little,
Penney.
just that little
Hey,
bit.
hey, check it out, brother, man. There's so much energy. I mean, we could just talk for hours. I mean, but we're so glad you came on the show. Plug all your information, plug your resources. This is your time to shine, man. Whatever you want to put out there, this is your moment. Any words of inspiration you can give the audience, you know, anything that can really, you know, the thing is sometimes it's the little thing that matters. So we love your expertise, and obviously, you know, you put a lot of time and energy into 5 Paragraph, and I think it's doing great things. It's going to do great things. And hopefully our audience goes out there and signs up for $9.97. I mean, that's like a no-brainer. Who doesn't want to get something, you know what I mean? It's like free information to help you. And I think it's invaluable.
There you go. Absolutely. Well, 5paragraph.com, we're looking to add value to you and your people's lives, your organization's lives. Go to 5paragraph.com, scroll through it, check out the testimonials. Don't take my word for it. We've got great people who are seeing success up on there. Go and see what they had to say about it. We say lead like a general. Go and see what the general has to say about it. You know, we have other different ranks, officer, civilian, otherwise patriot, all alike. Go and check out their testimonials. We have our own podcast, the 5P podcast. It's just if you look up 5 Paragraph on iTunes, Stitcher, Player FM, anywhere else. You know, we invite people to check out YouTube, especially, and check out 5 Paragraph on YouTube. You're going to see a lot of our nuggets of knowledge, words of wisdom, interviews with fine folks like yourself, Michael. So you'll see your interview up on there as well. We got to have you circle back on the show here. But I will tell you right now, here is my number one takeaway for all of your listeners that are out there. You are not a failure. You've never been a failure. Ideas can fail. You are not a failure. All you need to do is pick yourself up and move on to the next step. I'm telling you right now, take a deep breath. Just keep trudging on forward. There are numerous times along this journey where I've looked at my people that I love most in this world and go, this is really, really hard. And they're like, yes, but you can keep going. All right. The people around you who love you the most. And I talk about this on the TED Talk. It's right there on 5paragraph.com. When you're dealing with divorce, death, separation from loved one, personal illness, and loss of income, which I've dealt with all 5 at the same time. Yay. And that's why I got to put it into a TED Talk. You surround yourself with people who share in the same core values, who are close-hearted people, and you add value to their lives, it's going to be reciprocated in immeasurable ways. By that same token, if you go to receive, take that which is not your value, it will be reciprocated in immeasurable ways. So remember here, you're not a failure at all. Your ideas may fail, but so long as you're just continually going out there, adding value, sharing it with good, kind-hearted, you know, close-hearted people that are right there in their same core values as you, it works out. I'm telling you, go to 5paragraph.com. You will see those core values expressed. I'm talking to you because, hey, man, I'm right there with you. I get it. So go to 5paragraph.com. Check out the videos on there. Check out the TED Talk that's on there. I really do hope that you wind up getting this book. For all your listeners, go in there, check it out, get the book. You're going to get 30 days free access to the inner circle. Go right now, check it out. Go to 5paragraph.com.
The legend, Michael J. Penney. Thank you so much, brother. What you got, Skipper?
I was just going to say, you know, I'm probably going to go on there and just take a look at it, get one myself, just because I find it so interesting and it's such a great message. I appreciate you coming on today. You know, you've been a great guest. Thank you very much.
Hey, thank you for the opportunity. It truly.
Hello, I'm Michael J. Penney, founder and creator of 5-Paragraph Business Plan and the overall 5P management method based on our military operations order. We are bringing the military planning process to modern day business leaders, an age-old methodology of gaining accountability on a global basis. This is a 240-year-old management method that has served America very well. And now we, a combined group of veterans and patriots, have brought out 5-Paragraph Business Plan into a full-blown membership inner circle. That's right. When you sign up right now, you're going to have access to all of our templates, all of our tutorial episodes, all of our e-learning experiences. When you sign up right now, you are going to have not only our template downloads, but also our 15-minute monthly assessment, where I sincerely hope to be on the phone with you personally, chatting about your operation, your mission, what you're doing. We care very deeply for our 5P Inner Circle members. We are here to make sure that you are a success. Do you want to make more money? Do you want to get promoted? Do you want to be a rock star at the office? 5P, a simple management method that has been employed by the military for over 240 years, is now at your fingertips. When you sign up for our membership right now, our monthly membership, you're going to have access to the templates, the assessment, all of the learning tools, but also our private community of 5P users, where we engage one-on-one. It's not just going into some forum, it's being a part of a greater overall community where we work together in order to ensure one another's success. Go ahead, get signed up right now on a monthly membership. You will be glad to do so. But wait, there's more. When you sign up right now for an annual membership, we are giving you a 60% off discount. That is $20 a month. Regular price, $50 a month. When you sign up for an annual membership with 5P, you will get a 60% discount and a signed copy of 5-Paragraph Business Plan from me, Michael J. Penney, the founder and author of 5P. So go ahead, get signed up right now, get access to the templates, the tutorials, the learning resources, as well as all of the bonus materials when you get an annual membership. So go ahead, get signed up right now, get that annual membership, get that discount, and you will be glad you did so. We look forward to working with you in the near future. We look forward to serving you. And until then, take care and be well.